These are players that I believe will break out this upcoming season. Zach Wilson played great down the stretch. 0 interceptions over the last 5 games. I think the improvements the Jets have made on the offensive line, a year under LaFleur's system now, going into the second season, I still think we draft or trade for a big name receiver. Zach Wilson will have a big time jump from year 1 to year 2. Number 2 is Javonte Williams. Now that Melvin Gordon isn't there anymore, he's going to be the workhorse back. He had 900 yards last season, 620-yard runs. I feel like he's going to have a top 10 running back season. He can be a top 5 running, even top 5.
There you go.
I wouldn't even rule it out.
I'm with you.
Number 3 is Gabe Davis. 200 yards in the divisional round of the playoffs.
Love it.
449 yards last season, 6 touchdowns. People look at that and are like, oh, he wasn't very productive. Well, yeah, that's why it's called the breakout season.
Love it.
You know who I was? I'm the same person who was like, I'm taking Debo over DK. It was a hot take before the season.
It was.
I called the Debo breakout. I'm calling the Gabe Davis breakout right now. And you know what? I'm going to stay in the AFC East because Elijah Moore is having a breakout season with Zach Wilson too.
Love it, though.
500 yards, 5 touchdowns. He could have cracked 1,000 had he not gotten hurt. Elijah Moore, Gabe Davis, Javonte Williams, Zach Wilson, all my breakout players for this upcoming season.
I'll tell you what. My breakouts are so true to me that it's not even funny.
And there's no bias in this, just so everyone knows.
Absolutely none.
I know.
And I'm being sincere when I say this. My number 1 breakout, Jerry Judy. Jerry Judy had a great, I wouldn't say great strong. For a situation, I would say great. Given the fact that Drew Lock was his quarterback. He had 860 for his freshman year. But his sophomore season was not up to par. Missed some time. Very underwhelming. Had under 500 yards. But now that we got the real number 3, Russell Wilson, I'm expecting nothing less of greatness than Jerry Judy, from Jerry Judy. I'm expecting 1,300 yards. I'm expecting him to show why he is a top 5 route runner in the NFL. With Russell Wilson, all this can be accomplished. Now, my number 2 breakout. This should come as no surprise to Tua Tagovailoa. The offseason that the Miami Dolphins had was the most exciting offseason by far out of any team in the 2022 offseason. Bring in Teron Armstead, Connor Williams in the offensive line. You get rid of Jesse Davis. Thank goodness he's gone. He's the worst offensive lineman I think I've ever seen in my life. You add Tyreek Hill to add to a wide receiver core that already has Jalen Waddle. They automatically become a top 3 duo in the NFL at the wide receiver position. And Tua now has no excuse. And now he's finally going to be put in a position to succeed.
Yep.
With Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert in the backfield, 2 options that are great receiving options as well. Tua is going to thrive. And I have no doubt in my mind that Tua is going to enter that top 10 quarterback conversation now.
Oh, my God.
Tua is going to show why he was worth the number 5 draft pick.
Number 10.
Number 10. He is going to be excellent this season. Missing 4 games last season, 2,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Not a great touchdown to interception ratio, but given his circumstance, I look at these numbers, and I'm thrilled with them. Behind the worst offensive line, one of a bottom 3 rush offense, one of the worst play callers on the offensive side of the ball. Now he gets Mike McDaniels. Now he gets Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle duo, with Mike Gesicki coming back on the franchise tag, with Chase Edmonds and Raheem Mostert, with Teron Armstead, with Connor Williams, Robert Hunt, a solid offensive line in front of him. He's going to have time to make these throws down the field. I'm guaranteeing a top 10 quarterback season.
Well, it's not totally crazy because Jared Goff had a top 10 quarterback season.
He did. Could we go through the names real quick? Just tell me. I know we discussed it last episode, but now you're putting your stamp top 10. Josh Allen.
No.
Herbert.
Why do you have to think about that?
What's happening?
Statistically, we're talking.
What's happening?
All right, I'll take Herbert.
Of course you take Herbert.
Take Herbert.
Tom Brady.
Take Tommy.
Patrick Mahomes.
Take Patty.
Aaron Rodgers.
Take Rodgers.
Matt Stafford.
That's not, you don't
I
have
take
to
Staffy. I got to think.
Allen
Okay,
Robinson
that's
just joined
6.
them.
That's 6.
Joe Burrow.
We could have a conversation.
No, you cannot.
Okay, so that's 6. Kyler.
I would take Kyler.
7.
The name right now that I'm seriously leaning is Burrow.
Okay. Russell Wilson.
Russ.
That's 8. Lamar Jackson.
No chance he has a better season than Lamar Jackson.
I'll take Lamar.
That's 9. So the one we're stuck on is Joe Burrow being 10.
Correct.
I'm assuming you're taking him Dak Prescott.
I would take Tua.
Okay. Wow. Listen, I like the bold calls, but the pause on Herbert might be the craziest 10 seconds the show's ever seen ever. Justin Herbert?
Listen.
Like, bro, what? Come on.
Herbert is amazing. He
He's
is
a top 3
unbelievable.
quarterback in the league.
He is. He's a man. He's fantastic. The pause was unwarranted. I
Okay.
really had to think about it, though.
Why?
Because just to show some suspense.
Okay, so you think he could have a better season than Dak and Joe Burrow?
For sure.
Those are the 2 guys you would put.
Joe Burrow, who has a plethora of receiving weapons and improved offensive line.
Better season than Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Hell no. Hell no.
I also
We're
would
talking
lean Carr.
Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Mike McDaniel.
Talking to Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow.
I'll tell you what, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, toss-up.
Devontae Adams is better.
Jalen Waddle takes a dookie on
But,
Hunter
but
Renfrow.
Waller's their number 2.
Very fair.
Different
And
players,
especially
but
with,
both great.
with
Mike
Derek,
Gesicki's not a slouch at tight end, though.
and especially with
And offensive line, it's not even a question now. We lean Miami.
and especially with Derek Carr's play style, Devontae Adams fits him way better.
I agree.
Tua and
So let's
Hill
talk about
aren't
no, really.
the greatest.
I'm
fits.
shocked.
But
It's
I
not.
think
shocked.
they'll be fine.
No, I
McDaniel's
think
going
they'll
to
be
get
fine, but it's not the
McDaniel's going to get
greatest.
him involved.
It's not the
telling you
greatest
right
fit,
now,
bro.
It's not.
not the greatest
But
fit.
why is that?
Because Tua can't throw deep.
The thing about that is wildly incorrect. And the also thing about that is that the average depth of target for Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes is not as significant as everyone thinks that it is.
Well, they've really
and
taken it away
and
the
they
last
moved,
couple
and they
seasons.
moved off of him because of that. Because they realized it wasn't as effective anymore.
But even
So they
still,
moved off him.
Tyreek Hill was still a top 4 receiver in the NFL this season.
Yeah, he put up the numbers for sure.
So let's not pretend like it's a huge deal. And what
I
I'm
think
telling
the fit's fine.
and what I'm telling you right now is you're talking like he can't throw deep. I'm promising you at least 3 or 4 deep touchdowns to Tyreek Hill this season. He's going to have time to sit in the pocket.
He'll have separation.
Enough, all right? Because your negativity is making me sick in the stomach. I'm telling you right now, Tua's going to have time to sit in his pocket. Tyreek Hill's going to be deep open, and Tua's going to have no problem hitting him. He already displayed it this past season that he can let the ball fly downfield. So whether you choose to ignore it or not is on you.
Judy and Tua are your 2 breakouts then.
Easily.
Okay.
And I'm guaranteeing both of these players are going to have great
Well, I think
seasons.
they'll
like
both
both of
have
them.
better seasons for sure.
No, great seasons.
For sure. My breakout players, my quarterback, Trey Lance. I think him finally getting the keys to that, that engine, that Shanahan machine, he just produces, man. Trey Lance is going to go in. He's going to be able to rush the ball, throw the ball, all the physical tools. He's handsome. Everything screams franchise quarterback for Trey Lance. I think Jimmy G is going to get traded maybe sometime in training camp around August. And then finally, all of this drama will be put to the side. Trey Lance becomes one of the better quarterbacks in the next couple of seasons. Elijah Moore was my guy as well. I won't repeat what you said, but I think Elijah Moore is going to be phenomenal. In 11 games last year, had 43 catches, over 500 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Battled through multiple injuries, but when he was on the field, he was electric. And my third and final breakout was Darnell Mooney. Really, the Bears' only receiving option. Cole Kmet, we'll see what happens. Year 3 is usually when the tight ends break out. But Darnell Mooney really being the only receiving threat on that team. Former 5th-round pick, but he has shown being the number 1 guy. I mean, last year, I know they had Allen Robinson, but Darnell Mooney led the team in targets, receptions, yards, and touchdowns. He's been able to show that he could be the number 1 on a team, having a full offseason with Justin Fields.
And with the bad quarterback, too.
Having a full offseason with Justin Fields, not bringing in any other target competition. I think Mooney's going to have a really nice year.
Yeah. I mean, I think all your breakouts are valid outside of Tua being a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. That's blasphemous.
Almost as blasphemous as saying Matt Ryan.
No, I think Matt Ryan's more valid.
No way.
Matt Ryan's an MVP, actually. So he had the best quarterback season in the league.
5 years ago?
That's not really that far off.
Is it 2016, 15?
2016 or
It's
2016?
2022.
Facts.
It's 2017.
It was
5.
2016, actually.
Oh, so 6. Even worse.
He actually had a season just as good as his MVP year in 2018.
Really?
Yep, he did.
38-6, whatever he was?
Yep. He did have a
4
similar
years ago.
season.
We had the same exact conversation when I said 5 years. You said it was 4 years ago last episode.
2018, he had 35 touchdowns, 7 picks, almost threw for 5,000 yards, 69% completion percentage.
And the year before?
2017, it was 20 touchdowns, 12 picks.
Oh, so 2018 was his MVP year.
No, 2016, 38 and 7. Then 2 years later,
Damn.
he had 35 and 7.
He tweaked.
Yeah, and that was with no help in Atlanta. So there's a trend here.
Julio Jones.
In 2017, he threw for 20 touchdowns, then very next year 35. This past season threw for 20 touchdowns, 12 picks, the same as he did in 20. You better hope he doesn't do the same thing because the disrespect. Oh my gosh.
Michael Pittman, Julio Jones are
Oh
basically
my
the same
gosh.
guy. Basically the same person.